Emma Langley had always been a fighter. Diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in her early 30s, she quickly realized that navigating the healthcare system was often as painful as the disease itself. Doctors spoke over her, insurance companies dismissed her concerns, and treatment plans were made without her input. But Emma wasn't someone who gave up easily. One afternoon, after yet another frustrating doctor's appointment where her concerns were brushed aside, Emma sat in her car, gripping the steering wheel. She could feel the anger bubbling inside her. How was it possible that, in an era of medical advancements, patients like her still had so little say in their own care? That night, she took to an online support group, pouring out her frustration. To her surprise, hundreds of others responded, echoing the same experiences. They told stories of being dismissed, misdiagnosed, or forced into treatments they didn't fully understand. It wasn't just her. This was systemic. And that's when Emma decided to do something about it. Emma started a blog called Patient Power, sharing her journey and advocating for patient rights. She wrote about the importance of informed consent, the need for better communication between doctors and patients, and the right to seek second opinions without judgment. Within months, her blog had thousands of followers. People shared their own stories and a community formed. One of her posts caught the attention of Dr. Raj Patel, a progressive physician who believed in patient-centered care. He reached out to Emma, offering his support.
Patients should be partners in their own care,
he told her over a Zoom call.
Too many doctors forget that medicine is a collaboration, not a dictatorship.
With his help, Emma organized her first webinar titled Taking Back Your Health: The Power of Patient Advocacy. Hundreds attended, from frustrated patients to sympathetic healthcare workers. The movement was growing. As Patient Power gained traction, Emma started receiving invitations to speak at medical conferences and patient advocacy panels. But not everyone welcomed her message. A prominent hospital administrator dismissed her work, saying,
"Patients don't have medical degrees for a reason. They should trust the professionals."
Some doctors resented the push for shared decision-making, seeing it as a challenge to their authority. Insurance companies, too, were wary. Empowered patients meant more demands for transparency and better coverage. The real test came when Emma met Sarah Collins, a mother whose 10-year-old son, Jake, had been misdiagnosed multiple times. The hospital refused to approve an experimental but promising treatment. Desperate, Sarah turned to Patient Power for help. Emma launched a social media campaign, #LetJakeLive, urging people to demand the hospital reconsider. The story went viral. News outlets picked it up, and soon the hospital faced public pressure. Within a week, they approved the treatment. Jake's health improved, and the campaign became a symbol of what patients could achieve when they refused to be silent. Over time, Emma's advocacy led to real policy changes. Some hospitals began implementing patient advisory boards, where patients had a seat at the table. More doctors embraced shared decision-making, and insurance companies faced increased scrutiny. Emma wasn't naive. There was still a long way to go. But as she stood on a stage at an international healthcare summit years later, looking out at an audience of patients, doctors, and policymakers, she knew they had made progress.
"Healthcare should never be a one-sided conversation," she said. "Patient power isn't just a slogan, it's a necessity, and we're just getting started."
The applause was deafening.